Welcome, everyone, back to the Legendarium GT podcast. And today, we're finally going to figure out who the top dog of Abercrombie fandom is. That's right. I'm your host, Yeti Beats, or Matt. And with me today, I have Sean.
How we doing?
Seth.
Hey, everyone.
And our special guest, Mike, from Mike's Book Reviews on YouTube.
How's it going?
We couldn't keep this in-house. I mean, first of all, the Legendarium podcast has a shoddy relationship with Abercrombie that loses all credibility. So we needed someone who has talked to the man himself to put our draft talents against. So welcome, buddy.
Happy to be here.
Happy to have you.
I guess I should say first, Legendarium GT will be doing a First Law podcast read-through. So I think Spook and Stormrunner is going to be doing that. I'm not sure who else, but I don't think they've read much Joe Abercrombie. So it'd be kind of cool hearing them go through the first time. I assume fall in love with them, as we all do. And so check that out. I think that's coming in. They're going to start that up this summer. Before we get into the draft and the rules, I just want Mike to just let the listeners know kind of your relationship to Abercrombie, maybe when you first read him, and and if they don't know, you've talked to the man himself.
Well, I talked to him a couple times. Hung out with him for 5 minutes when he was here in Austin. Not here in Austin. I'm in Houston, but we drove up to Austin to see him. Obviously, great guy, very down to earth. He's a little bigger now than he was when I first started reading him, which actually happened, I think, back in like 2007. At the time, I was a very, very disgruntled Song of Ice and Fire reader. Stop me if you've heard this one before. And a friend of mine was like, "Hey, I think you'd really like this author." He said he described it as it's kind of like Song of Ice and Fire, but no dragons and no magic and no prophecy. It was exactly how he sold it. And I read it. I was like, okay, I guess you're right, because it does have the whole gray character thing, but like to the nth degree. I felt like, so obviously I clicked with this like right away. I mean, the third book had just come out and ate it up at the time. Since the Song of Ice and Fire wasn't complete yet, oh wait, it still isn't. It was shocking to me when I got to the end of this trilogy, because I had never read anything like this, and I was like, wait, that's where it ends, and I was actually quite pissed off. And then about a year later, I was like, actually, it's quite brilliant, And so I just kind of kept going back to it, and when I started doing this channel, I started with Wheel of Time, which, as you know, is obviously a lightning rod for discussion and conversation and things that people have read and stuff like that. And at the time I said, well, let me see if this is Wheel of Time or if I actually am good at this. So I decided to talk about First Law. And apparently I got lots and lots of people at the time, before really he blew up the way he is now. When I was still relatively new at this, Joe Abercrombie told me that he felt like I had sold more books than his publisher had for him. So he was very appreciative of that.
Wow.
And, that was about as high a compliment as I can get. But yeah, great guy, and couldn't happen to a better guy. The success he's having right now.
Amen.
Certainly.
Yeah. Yeah, it's nuts. I feel like he didn't get started blowing up until the standalones. Like it's kind of like that. The trilogy was kind of under the radar for a while. Like kind of like you said, a rumored like, hey, this kind of takes a different take on fantasy. But then once you got into like Best Served Cold or the Heroes, it's like, oh, this guy's about to blow up.
And now all these years later, we're still trying to find what's a good grimdark like the First Law, and you can't ever find anything. Everyone will tell you, hey, this is like the First Law, and it's not. It's unique. It's one of one.
That's true.
So we're going to be doing this draft, and we'll go over the categories. One reason I thought it was kind of fun to do a Joe Abercrombie draft is because, unlike, it might be different than Sanderson or other authors. You could correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like everybody has a different favorite Abercrombie book. Like there's no one consensus that it's like, this is his best book. And we're going to do categories of not just book, but characters and things like that, that there's just so many diverse options you can go with of what people like about his writings. What it doesn't matter the setting or the POV characters or what have you. Do you agree or no?
I think so, especially the standalones. I don't think there's anybody who has like someone's favorite of the standalones will be someone else's least favorite. It always seems like it goes that way. And I have hot takes on a lot of these things as well, because I'm the one who's like, I think Age of Madness is fine. It doesn't touch the original trilogy. And there's so many people who are like, oh no, that's the best thing he's ever written is the Age of Madness. And so I mean, I think it's a safe safe assumption to say that it's hard to find in a group of 10 people, you're probably going to have about 8 different picks for favorite
Yep.
Abercrombie book.
All right. I'll explain the rule. Well, I guess the rules are simple. If anyone's ever played fantasy football, you know how to do a draft. We'll randomize an order and we'll go down in snake fashion and pick from different categories, which are book and series uh, in the first law world. So I guess we're we're all okay doing combining standalones and series books, and that's one category now.
We put standalones in there with the original and Age of Madness. Okay, all right. I got to make some adjustments.
On the fly. POV character, which at first is more difficult than you think because he's had a lot of characters who have been in the first trilogy that weren't a POV character, but then ended up being in a POV character. The short story collection has POV characters, so it's there's a lot to choose from. Quote or passage, as we know, Abercrombie is a very talent, with making memorable quotes. Certain knife character has a lot, but it could also switch it up. There's a lot of good ones. Secondary character that is non-POV, so a character that does not have a point of view in any of the books, any of the short stories. I'll tell you this right now. I have my number one pick, but after that, a little harder than I thought. And then last category, non-first law wild card. So it could be anything that's not first law related. You got obviously the young adult trilogy, which obviously has plenty of naysayers. But we'll see if anyone picks them. The Devils, the newly released Devils, the Devils. I'm trying to think. Yeah, he was in I put this in the notes, a cameo in the movie Primate. If anyone watched that this year, the monkey, it was great cameo. And his blog post, anything. You can go outside the box.
You wrote a Love, Sex, Robots episode. I don't suppose anyone included that. I didn't.
I could have sworn there was something like that. I forgot. All right, good job. So those are our categories. Sean, are you going to?
I do have a randomizer up and ready.
Do we all trust you? That's a question.
Yeah, I'm not going to stream this. Just trust
Share
that.
screen. No.
All right, spinning the
That's
wheel.
what's like in real fantasy football.
Yeah. Or
There's no trust.
I have people that are like, you got to randomize it 10 times in front of us. I'm like, I don't know what you guys think random really means, but sure, I'll randomize it 10 times.
10 times and we'll do an average. Yeah.
All right. First overall, and we're doing snake draft, by the way, so it kind of goes down the list and then circles back. So whoever does their fourth selection for this first category will then start off the next category. But starting off the draft in overall, oh gosh, playing music. Mike is first overall.
Oh, you got to be kidding me! You set that up for him. Playing to the crowd.
Look at that. Ask and you shall receive. Second up,
I just need to be ahead
is
of
Seth.
Oh my God! God damn it! I know what he's gonna be. Oh God damn it!
Third,
I don't even want the turn.
Guessing y'all share some favorite books here. Some favorite characters.
Yeah. There's one.
Yeti, you are third.
It's like the
I'm
worst.
bringing
pick
up the
in draft.
rear.
It's like having seventh in like a regular 12 team football.
I'd rather have the first pick in the second category though. So
That's
That's
fourth pick
that's pretty big.
Yeah, and also for this drive, you don't have to go in any order for categories. You can pick whatever categories you want.
Oh, okay. So you aren't just doing each category.
Well,
Oh,
okay. All right, that's
Yeah,
fine.
yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah. No, you can. Yeah. doesn't
So like
have to go in order.
whoever like starts a new category can pick the category they start with. Is that what you're saying?
You can do
It's like
kind
a
of
bingo
whatever.
card anywhere you want.
Yeah, anywhere you want. You can fill it. You could go wild card first if you want, and then the next person could do
I
quote
see.
or whatever.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah, you don't have to follow like the
I'll renumber this
order.
then.
Oh wow, first pick. See, that's like the thing. What category do you do? And then in that category, what do you pick? I mean,
Jeez, I feel like it's not going to surprise anybody.
yeah, I don't think so either. If you know it, let's hear it and see what you got, big guy.
So I can do any category.
Any category?
Well, I'm obviously going to start with POV character. And I mean,
God,
who's the number
please.
one pick in the draft? I mean, that's Sandan Galactic, right?
Oh my God.
I mean, come on.
Ah.
That's it.
This is gonna
Yeah,
go so poorly for me again.
that's
Every
who I
draft
had.
we do these.
I mean, this is like one of the best characters in all of fantasy right here. I mean,
Yeah, it is.
everyone's trying to catch this character for me, so it's tough.
I was kind of hoping you'd go like Logan, maybe, or just like an ultra fan or something. But
I mean, all my favorite. I mean, you actually think Logan has more of my favorite quotes, but Galactic
Yeah.
just like every scene he's in is just like magnetic. Yeah.
He really, like, carries the books at times.
I was just gonna say that there's portions with like Logan and like kind of the traveling that drag a little bit. I still like the hangout portion of it, but like anytime you're with Glocka, especially before they are hanged and when he travels, I mean, that's like it's just fire. Every scene with him.
I think with Galactic, like I think this is where my love of damaged characters really came from because I was saying like I like characters just got just so many flaws and just so damaged. I mean, what's a more damaged character than this? You know, physically and mentally, and he himself. I mean, what's better than that, right? It's not a good Joe Abercrombie book without a pants.
I just love his internal monologues are just
Oh yeah.
the best.
That's like I think that's his best at like mixing humor with like just darkness is like that character. You know, I think sometimes you can tip over to one or the other, go too far with each, but that's like the perfect culmination.
Yeah, I was telling my wife the first time I was reading the book, I was like, In any other book, I feel like any other fantasy book, he'd be the villain, and I'm rooting for this guy. You know, he's great. So
Yeah. No, that was my first. Well, yeah, that was my top two pick, but probably should have been first. All right, we'll go to Seth, which I'm almost positive he's going to pick my actual number one pick, and not happy about it.
Yeah, for me, it's going to be a book, and it's going to be The Heroes, which
God damn
is
it!
the absolute pinnacle
Oh,
of
God.
Mount Abercrombie. Uh, Talking about the futility of war and some of the absurdities of it, deconstructing the idea of a hero. Um, it's fantastic. I still say "Back to the Mud" even today, randomly
got a
to
coffee mug
people.
that says that on it.
Yeah, uh,
Nice.
it is the perfect Abercrombie book to me.
That's what I kind of called the sequel trilogy for a long time was the Back to the Mud trilogy,
Ooh.
or I'm sorry, the standalone trilogy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, this sucks. This really is not good.
Board's
I
wide
mean,
open.
I feel like you are a veteran, so you probably deserve this more than I do as one who's not, but still, this book is so this was actually my first Abercrombie book. This is how I got into him.
Oh.
And then I went back and because when it first came out, I had no idea who he was. I didn't even know he was part of a series. And my first taste of like what Mike was saying, like the end of Last Argument of Kings, where it's like, oh, everything like just isn't happy and it's kind of like where you are.
The
That
bad
feel
guys just win. Yeah.
that feeling I got was in the Heroes with the battle between Gorst and Wern of Bly, when it's just like he gets randomly stabbed with a spear. I'm like, what kind of face off was this? I've been waiting for this the whole book. And it's just like, and you just realize like, oh, that's just like how life goes. And that's how,
Or
yeah, exactly. Um, I love this book. I did research and I saw that Mike ranked all these books and this was near the bottom. So he's not heard of this at all.
Ooh.
I feel like if I should redo that, I mean, that was a long time
It
ago, and I
was.
think I just had such a negative reaction to Red Country, it just kind of dragged everything else down a little bit. So I
Mm.
think that I should probably redo that. That was like in 2020 or so.
It
And
was
everybody was
6 years
miserable in
ago.
2020. You know,
Yeah.
so
We all had our heads on. Yeah. It's just I think it's like the perfect it feels like an epic fantasy in like a one book of like a 3-day battle. There's so many characters that he puts into that book that are so distinct and unique from Red Beck to, Crawl and all these people that it reminded me, I'm not to plug Stephen King too much, but I read Under the Dome around the same time, which is another really self-contained story with a huge, amazing cast of characters.
yeah, Black Dahlia got his moment a little bit. I mean, for a minute there in that book. So
He did.
I mean,
It was
anytime you see
it
any
was
of the
needed.
original trilogy characters trying to crossing over, that's when you get
Is
my
the
attention.
Heroes also when he introduced his like switching POV battle stuff?
Yeah,
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 Mm.
that
that's
was
like a staple
amazing when I
now.
first read
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And would probably did it best. I mean, I liked it in the
Yeah.
second trilogy too, but I mean, that when he first read that scene, I was like, "Oh,
Yeah.
can someone even do this in fantasy? What is going on? What is going on?" Oh man. All right. I guess I'm up. I said I knew my picks, but those were like my two like green chippers you just took, so this kind of sucks. All right. Oh boy. Should I try
Pen
to
to paper,
screw?
old school.
Yeah, I did. Should I try to screw over Sean? I mean, I don't even know what to go for.
You don't know where I'm going.
Like the middle rounds is when you screw people over. You gotta get your money maker in the first round.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Fancy football rules.
Value comes
yeah.
later.
I know. I'm sure I'm gonna do a terrible pick. This is like the part in fantasy football where you're just like you screwed up. You didn't prepare enough to get 1-2'd, and now the whole draft is just gonna go failing. All right. You know what? I'm just gonna do first law book, and I am going to do. I just got to. I'll do best serve cold. I'll take it off the board. I think the standalones. I almost went with a Age of Madness book, but Mike psyched me out by saying they're fine, and I backed. I got screwed. Yeah, best serve cold. I mean, I love revenge movies. I love revenge tales. It's Abercrombie doing Tarantino. I think it kind of I don't want to say saved Abercrombie in a way with women characters, but I remember he got a lot of flack for the women in his first law trilogy, and then he writes Best Served Cold, and it's like, oh, Mons is like one of the best characters in fantasy that he's written. So I like that. I think it's one of his funniest books with Friendly, the introduction of Friendly, the
That's good.
Morvier, the Poisoner. I mean, those two are just hilarious and sinister in their own ways too, which is you feel bad
Shivers.
laughing at the stuff.
Wasn't Nikimo Casca in this one as well?
Yeah, see,
Yeah.
he was
Yeah.
one of my favorite secondary characters in the original
Yeah.
trilogy. So giving him his minute to shine was just
Yeah.
like, awesome.
Yep.
I love
And the
it.
relationship between I like that too because Casa in that book, there's like a sweetness with him and Monza too, even though he is such a piece
It's
of
like favorite
garbage.
drunk uncle. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
But he does kind of care. So I gotta go best serve call. I can't honestly say I like it better than the heroes, but
This is my second favorite revenge book of all time, or third behind Princess Bride and The Count of Monte Cristo. This is it. I mean, this is like the
Wow.
quintessential self revenge for me. I love it. I never get tired of that formula.
it made the Mount Rushmore for you. Great.
Mhm.
All right. That's me, Sean. You got 2
Well,
picks. Jealous.
yeah, I was gonna say I was debating where I want to go, but
Back to back picks. Here we
I
go.
don't need to stress that much. All right. I'll go POV character first then. What was that?
It's better to
I'm
do it than
fine.
live with the fear of it.
I did. Amen.
Well, all right. You know what? Since you said it, I'll start quote because that is my quote. It's better to
Oh.
do it than live with the fear of it.
Okay.
That is my quote passage selection.
That's a good line.
Famously said by Logan. Solely or he's the only one that says it, right? It's not like a common Northman saying, right?
No.
Yeah, mostly
Uh,
Logan. But the quote often speaks for itself. You can attribute it to so many things in your personal life, as far as anything you're anxious about or big changes in your life. A lot of time, if you just look it in the face, accept that it needs to be done, accept the change, accept whatever needs to happen.
mm,
You can really face it with adversity, but also in the context of the book itself, it's said before so many different moments, whether it's battles in the circle or some sort of big political swing. Um, it's just I think it's a quote that rings true for a lot of people and has a wide range of effect.
Do you use it in your daily life? Because I do. I use it this new job this week.
Beautiful, beautiful. As you
Yeah.
should, exactly.
I quote Abercrombie more than I do Tolkien. And so I'm just that kind of guy.
That's what I like to hear. Yeah, I mean that's a sign of a good quote when you're like you actually use it in your real life and you're like it can, it can apply to anyone. I mean that's just how you should live life.
Yeah. All right, and then for my next pick, we're going Logan, POV character. Should not be
Nice.
much of a surprise.
Going
Yeah.
chalk.
Yep.
I know who your favorite character is.
Yeah.
No, I
Obsessed.
mean honestly,
Jeez.
I would have went Galactic if I had first overall pick. Not gonna lie, but yeah, Logan's a strong second. He's such a presence throughout the main trilogy, even the books he's not in. He has such a strong presence, whether he's mentioned or the effect he has on their characters. I mean, like most of Shivers' arc is fueled by Logan, and most of Shivers' arc is explored in books that Logan's not really in. But he's funny, he's brutal, he's a great friend. Giselle thinks of him as one of the best people he's ever met in his life. He is such a catalyst of change in the series. So many good quotes, like I said, whether it's about knives or the quote, the aforementioned quote, "Better to do it than live with the fear of it." You have to be realistic about these things that might come up again. It's if you've read these books, he does not need much of an explanation. But Logan is one of, I think, the best modern fantasy characters.
He probably has 2 of my favorite fight scenes of like any fantasy series. I mean, if you can count one of them, I don't want to give spoilers for a certain book. Wouldn't necessarily his name was Logan at that point, but I mean, the way Abercrombie writes some of his fights, like when it's one-on-ones, is just like, it gets me like juiced up to run like a marathon or something.
I will never forget when he stops being Logan in the first book and becomes, Logan Nine Fingers and
Bloody
really
Nine.
or the Bloody Nine, yeah, and just that whole sequence was incredible. The build up to it, the payoff, it was rad.
Yeah, you're waiting for him to Incredible Hulk at any moment. You're always worrying for everybody that's in his traveling party. Like
Yeah,
in book
and
3,
then
I'm like, oh God, he's about to kill Dogman, isn't he? I'm always worried for everybody that's traveling with him. But yeah, banger lines. Don't mess with his cook pot, damn it. If you just wouldn't mess with his cook pot, none of this would have happened. Just saying.
True.
And it's, he just does such a good job of making him endearing too. Similar to kind of Glocka, where you're rooting for Glocka, but Logan's just like, he's almost like a lovable loser. You just want him to like get over the hump, just obviously be a better man or something. And he brings out the best I wouldn't say the best, but a better man in Giselle. I always mispronounce his name. Like when he cares, he can care about someone. So it's kind of heartwarming. And then it's on the dime. It's like, oh, he just killed one of his best friends.
Say one thing for Logan Nine Fingers. I would say that for just about anything. Say that he likes his coffee or something. I'll just make up something. I'll change these off myself, but I use that quite a bit as well.
yeah,
I should have said in the beginning, well, probably I'll put in a thing in the episode, but there'll probably be spoilers in this episode. I'll do our best not to, but I mean, sometimes you just want to talk about why you enjoy a book or a character or things like that. And I think it's fine to go.
full spoilers.
Yeah,
That
just
time
go
where
with spoilers.
Logan killed Daenerys, man, it was messed up.
All right, those are solid picks. Double Logan.
Double
Man.
Logan, little Logan heavy, but
Yeah,
I don't hate it.
if someone doesn't like Logan in this imaginary
If he-
vote that people have,
If he tears his ACL, my team's just shot.
Brother Longfoot's going to be the touchdown stealer. He's going to get the 1-yard touchdown.
He's gonna vulture all the touchdowns.
The vulture. Yeah.
oh boy. All right, I got my book. I feel like I should go. I feel like POV characters like the best. Where you got to go. There's just so many options. Like I don't think anyone's going to steal any of the other. All right. I'm gonna do. We'll do POV character, and I'm going to go into the Age of Madness. Sorry, Mike, and I'm going with Orso. Orso. Yeah, I try to think of like POV characters when they were a POV character. There's one in Best Served Cold who a lot of people laud as one of the best characters in the series because of a transformation they make. But I kind of like him better in later books when I'll just say Shivers. I don't know why I'm hiding who it could be, but I almost like him better in Heroes and Red Country when he's not a POV character and when he's kind of just lurking and that he's been totally damaged. Whereas Orso, I think at times, as much as I love Age of Madness, and I do, I think he kind of like carries that book from where, I mean, to his personality, one, just the mixture of his parents, two, the dynamic with Savine, and kind of I love a good ending, and the ending of The Wisdom of Crowds is just like I'll never forget it. I like felt gross at the end. And there's a lot of moments to feel gross at the end of his books, but that one I was just like, man, it's like the thing where it's like I wish this could have been different, but it couldn't have been, you know.
Mhm.
And I just love the line from him. It's not my quote, but he says throughout the book, like, I hate hangings so much. It's just like,
Foreshadowing. Yeah.
yeah, it's just poetic. I mean, just how everything's set up. And yeah, I think as time goes on, he'll kind of grow in the Abercrombie fandom. I don't think he'll ever surpass the top two. I don't think anyone will surpass the top two, nor should they. But when I was thinking of like a third, like POV, who's the top one? Yeah, I'm more than happy to have Orso on my squad. I think he's full of complexities.
He was my number 4 for a time.
Seth was thinking of Leo. I know, obviously.
Orso's a good pick, though.
Appreciate it. What are you gonna do now after you screwed me completely?
I'm actually going non-POV character, and I'm going to do Warren
Oh
Upley.
my
Or
god!
Oh, damn it.
Yeah.
Oh my god! There's no
I didn't think you'd go
way.
this
Man.
high, but
I didn't
yeah,
think you'd
pretty
take
high
him.
line.
Oh my god!
He's incredible. He's another guy to the heroes, so surprise, surprise. That book just keeps getting on better. Whether
I
it's
should have
his
taken him.
ridiculous father of all swords and progressively losing clothing in the middle of fighting to telling people how they ought to eat cheese. He is the best, and I loved him. Actually, I think he was the best part of the short stories collection,
Oh, yeah.
Sharp Ends.
Mhm.
He was great in the heroes, and just his ending was awesome too, because he's dying. Spoilers. I won't tell you what book that's in. Where he even admits that the witch who gave him the prophecy of his death had no idea what she was talking about. Just everything about it is awesome. So yeah, he's my favorite non-POV character, and it's not particularly close.
It's amazing. I don't remember either of the characters in Sharp Ends, but I remember his scene.
Yeah, he's great.
Yeah, at the bridge scene where they meet him on the bridge, and then a lot of
Oh,
sex
yeah.
afterwards.
That was a good
God,
pick. You had, full selection there. You made a good pick.
I had
I
him third on my non-POV characters.
I had him
I thought
second, but I
that was
maybe
too
should have made
early,
him
I guess.
first.
he's my favorite first law character. I mean, I'm biased because I read that first, but I was like, this guy's the coolest dude I've ever seen in fantasy. He doesn't wear armor. He's hilarious. I mean,
Mhm.
the sword name. I was like, I didn't think anyone liked him. I was like, I can wait on this pick. Who's going to pick Warren
No,
Bly?
we all had him high.
Oh
Yeah,
my
Speaking of,
god!
he was my number one, but I did have one that was like probably 1B, so I'm curious to see who
Mhm.
snags him.
I did write down a quote because in case I select him, I want to quote this. Armor is part of a state of mind in which you admit the possibility of being hit. Kind of encompasses
So
his
good.
whole.
Oh boy! Wow, that's a great pick. Yeah. All right, Mike, you got 2 picks, right?
Do I? I'm looking at the chart here. I don't even understand what I'm looking at.
Yeah, the chart, since we're skipping around, it's hard to follow, but you kind of have to memorize the order.
I never understood Sean's chart.
Just
He's
tell me
trying
when
to
it's
psych
my
us
turn.
out.
Let's do
So
that.
you're up, and you can do you've picked characters. So you have Glocka. You can go anywhere from there.
You
As long
got
as
2
it's
back to
not.
back.
I mean, let's go with books. My favorite book in the whole series is Last Argument of Kings.
Nice.
Wow.
And
Oh.
I mean, I guess we're talking spoiler things. I think
Yeah.
for me, when it really, really changed was I had no idea about the plot twist that was coming with Giselle.
Right.
With me and that, it's like now the second time I read, I was like, yeah, it's right in my face the whole time.
Mhm.
I totally missed it the first time. So that like early in the book, that like completely shocked me. But I think it completed his arc. Like Giselle in that first book, you just want to punch the guy. And by this book, I absolutely love him. I'm like, he must be protected. And that's why when I got to Little Hatred, I was like, how dare you, Joe? So
Yeah.
it was just, I think with me is Giselle is one of my like favorite characters. It didn't start that way, and by the third book, I was really, really rooting for the guy. It was really, really good. And you have the best fight, with Fenris and
Yep.
the Blade Nine. You got just everything just comes to a head, just the right way. And I mean, Galactic has like that full on just with God, was it uh God, whoever it was that Giselle married, I can't think of her name right now, but when he like has like a he has a come to Jesus meeting with her. That's like
Yeah.
one of my favorite confrontations in the entire book. It's just so damn good. So yeah, Last Argument Kings is the Empire Strikes Back of the series. It's just ahead of everything else that comes after for me.
Yeah. I mean, commonly when people talk about the first law, the first trilogy, they say book one's kind of all intro, book two's all middle, book three's all climax. And that just and like obviously you can't do the climax stuff without what comes before, but like that's how good it is. Just like nonstop
Oh
banger
yeah.
after banger page. Yeah, that was up there with the heroes for me as far as like what I would have picked for a book and series.
Yeah, that was my number one in series before we combined them.
One of the things I like about it so much is the people who like hate Joe Abercrombie, like hate this book. They're the ones who like can't stand if they finish the trilogy, I guess, but they
All right. Do
complain
we
about the ending.
people? Can we really call them people?
Fair
Trust me,
point.
we've had too many. There's, on our Discord alone, there's too many
They're weak.
unbelievers. Yeah, they don't get it. They just don't get it. That's all I got to say about that.
Opinions are okay, even wrong ones.
I I'm sure you guys feel the same, but I loved the journey of West in that book, in the whole trilogy. But that was like another moment
Yeah.
where it's like, oh, this isn't like a normal fantasy book. Why is this man being punished? He was like, you know what I mean? It's why is his outcome in life like this? And it's just weird that we can get a feeling of so many kind of gut punches that make you feel bad. But after reading, I'm like, that book was amazing. I want more of that feeling.
All right, Mike, all you again.
It's me again. Okay. All right. Let's
No
keep skipping
pressure.
around. We haven't done secondary character yet, so or yeah, we have.
Yeah.
Yeah, you picked Wearing a Bly. Uh, Still, I'm stunned that this character is still on the board right
Yeah, I
now.
know.
So I mean, I have to go with first the Magi here.
Ah, God.
Ooh,
Bias, yeah.
Because I
Yeah,
mean,
I know.
what I mean, in a book full of villains, can you have the guy that you don't really know is the villain until a certain point in the story here? Again, on second reading, it's like it was right in your face the whole time. I think it's just I grew up reading Lord of the Rings. I'm thinking this is the Gandalf character. He can't have sinister plots going on behind the scenes. And like I said, that ending, I was so pissed off the first time I read this. Sat with it for like a year, and then one day I just was like, you know what? Actually, it was quite brilliant what he did. It was actually really good. But at the time, I said I wasn't going to read the standalones because I was like, I want to see this character get his comeuppance, and I heard that he doesn't. Now I'm
Yeah.
like, well, because he's just smarter than everybody else. So yeah, I think this is one of those where he's the Darth Vader that I needed in this series, but he was like not in everybody's face, with a breathing apparatus letting you know he was there the whole time as the bad guy. And I think that's what makes him so memorable for me.
we're still waiting for his comeuppance, but took
Right? And the thing was, like, you finish the Age of Madness and still it's like, damn, I just don't think he's gonna get it.
Yeah, at least on a cliffhanger too, where he's like got more things going. I'm like, oh my god, come on. Yeah, that's Mike is smoking us right now. By the way, good lord, how did this happen?
yeah,
I,
yeah.
I bundled
I got
it.
my favorite POV, my favorite secondary POV, and my favorite book. You guys know how to make a guy feel welcome.
I know. Zeth screwed us with that Wearing a Bly pick. I thought you were gonna go Baez. I was like, definitely gonna go Baez. Damn. All right. Wow, that's great. Yeah, I mean, it's it's just crazy how many like top tier characters one author can have. Like if you would like Baez, Glocka, Logan is like,
Well, when everybody asks me what's so great about the series, what do I always say? The characters.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
They're like, well, what else is good about it? Like, that's all you need, man. You got great
That's all it is.
characters.
Yep.
Sometimes I don't know. Sometimes I get cynical when people are like, "Well, the characters are so unlikable," and it's like you can not like them
You're
and still
unlikable.
enjoy. Yeah, you can still they can still be terrible people. You can still enjoy characters. The way it's written, is I don't know. Did he? Has Joe ever said that he's going to continue the First Law books?
He hasn't said he I think what he told me was that like if you have a really nice, weapon, do you ever put it on the shelf for good? And I was like,
Right.
okay, that you answered that exactly like I thought you would answer it.
That's right.
So I think it's one of those like, you can always go back to the well, but I think there's
Yeah.
other things he wants to write for now.
Yeah. It doesn't want to get burnt out. It's just because I think at the end of the Age of Madness, like Baez has some other guy in his like left pocket. Isn't it like
People
someone's
keep
son or someone?
raging
Or
about the Devils, and he might actually write more of these because people are really, really vocal about how they felt about the Devils. So
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Stay tuned.
maybe
Stay
we can
tuned.
bully them, guys.
No, I mean, I have my complaints about it, but I'm happy if he's writing, if his books are selling, he gets to write more. That's a win for me. I really, it's all good. All right. Wait, so Seth, back to you, my friend. Stop the
Yeah,
bleeding. Mike is killing us on our own
this is
podcast.
actually my number one pick. Although I
Oh,
have nothing but respect for Glocka and Logan and
oh,
Orso, but for me, it's Call Shivers is number one
Nice.
in my Abercrombie character ranking. To me, he just embodies everything that the First Law or series in general and the standalones are like. The themes of revenge, redemption, cycles of violence, whether people can actually change or not, right? That's like a huge theme
hmm
in this world. From the idealism in Master of Cold to where we see him in the heroes, working for Black Daw, or Black Dow, I should say, and all the way till the end, where he's kind of an old man.
It's my favorite part of the sequel trilogy.
Yeah, serving the dogman and stuff up in the north. So
and his daughter.
he just has some incredible quotes. I was looking through some of the Shivers quotes, and they're just chef's kiss. Yeah, to me, he is like the the real gauge of this whole universe. I think is Shivers, his whole character.
Yeah.
Well said. He kind of like he was kind of a ticking time bomb for me when I was first going through the series. Like I really thought he would like kill Logan, or I mean that's kind of as bad as it would get. But I was like really scared of how his character would progress, and then at the other side of the mountain ends up being this like very interesting character study of someone that like really stands out from all the other Northmen.
Trying to be a better man. Yeah.
Yeah,
When I first started reading the sequel books or the standalone books, I remember thinking, I don't need Walmart Logan Nine Fingers. What is this? This is not the character that I thought he
edgy
is.
Logan.
And by the time he has a metal eye, I'm like, this guy is awesome. I love him.
Yeah.
So it came to the point to where it's a series I expect all my favorite characters to die. But in the Age of Madness, I'm like, don't you do it? Don't you do
Mhm.
it? To call Shivers because I think that he's really moved up my list for someone I really never really thought that from the original trilogy that he'd
Yeah.
become this endearing.
He's like forgettable in the original trilogy. He's kind of like a gnat on the side of Logan, where he's like always got to worry about him. Like, oh, you killed his brother. That guy kind of hates you, like a little brother. But it's funny how he kind of like ends two of like the big standalones. Like the heroes not ends it, but like he's the one who kind of just kills Black Dow, steps up and kills him. And then the end of Red Country, it's the little standoff with Logan, and
Mhm.
he just kind of, which I
Oh,
love that moment where he just kind of wipes his hands with it.
Yep.
Before we move on from Shivers, I did have, if you'll indulge me, two quick quotes from him because they're just so good. I wrote a couple down, but
Not your draft pick, I hope. This is pro bono.
no, these actually isn't my draft pick, but I just thought it was good. But
Sure.
it's Shivers says, I had a dream. I had my dreams of being a better man once upon a time. Temple, what happened? Shivers, I woke up. And it's
That's great.
yeah. Chef's kiss.
Well, it's like his Abercrombie, I think I always like to talk about like these books are about like, can someone change? Like I think people get so frustrated who have problems with the first series that say like, oh, he's being edgy, like it's just back where he started, or anyone can change. And I think like Shears is like a good example. Like people can change. It's just extremely hard. It is just like it takes over and over again of failure, of pain, but you can change, you know. So I always like to push back on that Abercrombie doesn't think anyone can ever change. I think you can. It's just not, you know.
Easy.
Yeah. That's a great
You're gonna have
pick.
setbacks for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, as he did. But I mean, he does change by. He's similar in many, many ways, but he changes. All right. Well, now that my draft is screwed, I can just go from the hard here, I guess. I'm going to do my quote, and this isn't as popular as all of your guys' quote, but this is from the Heroes, and it's from, if anyone remembers Call Ricci, no, one of the lieutenants in the North. He says, "Savor the little moments, son. That's my advice. They're what life is. All the things that happen while you're waiting for something else." And I've always liked that quote because I just feel like, it's underrated. No one puts that tattooed on their body, but I think that I've found that kind of is what life is. And it took me years to always be looking for like the next milestone or the next thing, like I'm going to do this and that, where it's like these little moments while you're waiting for that is kind of like where the bread and butter is sometimes of like enjoyment, or when I'm thinking back on things, if I can remember anymore. After you have kids, you can't think. I can't remember like 2 years. I can't remember what I had for
I remember
breakfast.
yesterday.
Yeah. But what does stick, it to me, it always were like these little moments that were like, I wasn't looking forward to this moment, it's just a little moment on a Wednesday afternoon or something like that. So I always liked that. I thought he could get sincere every once in a while. Big Joe, you know, and it's from the Heroes. I had to represent the Heroes since it's been stolen from me over and over again.
There you go. Check. I try to scribe it as you said it. Check our draft board. Make sure I typed it in right. Not that we're going to use this ever again after this recording ends, but check it anyway.
It goes up to vote, right? Yeah. All right. Who's next? I'm losing track too. Oh, you got double pick.
I got 2 picks here. I deeply regret going quote when I did, because if I went book, I could have done Last Argument, and if I went secondary character, I would have done Burn of Bly. Yeah, I messed up.
So
I messed up.
Get sniped.
Yeah,
I really messed up.
You can take sharp ends now.
Well, here I go anyway. I will do. I don't need a rush for book because no one else has a book to choose. So obviously I'm gonna do the other two.
That's true.
So I'll fill in my secondary character now. Actually, I'm gonna take another moment to think about that. So I'll do my first law wild card or non first law wild card.
He's choking.
I really am. I'm doing Balthazar.
He was high on mine.
Nice. A lot of solid characters in the Devils.
I didn't even think of that. That's smart.
I mean, a couple great characters in the Devils as well. I think his sections were the most compelling, most entertaining. I really like his whole shtick. I think he was kind of like the common connection between like all the characters. I feel like everyone had a different relationship with him, while maybe like Baron Rickard and like the priest didn't really have like a strong relationship. I mean, they had scenes, but like I feel like Balthazar was really like what got a lot of the character interactions going. It's just some crazy necromancer stuff too, which we love. His kind of crisis of like, I'm powerful, why am I under this spell? Always trying to like break out of the pact that he's under, the spell he's under. There's just like a lot going on with him, and it was all very interesting, all very entertaining to read. Big fan of Balthazar. He's one of the things that will get me to read the Devils too, when that comes out. So yeah, big fan of Balthazar.
Taking his quote and changing it and being like, "I am Mike, the 87th best booktuber on YouTube."
Love it.
I know. Yeah, damn. My Devil's critique has blinded me to Balthazar. I forgot he was the best. He was like, I loved his like his cockiness mixed with his like befuddlement of why he just wasn't where he wanted to be in life. Almost, it was just like always clashing, and we've talked about it. I had problems with the Devil's humor. I thought it was the first time Joe kind of went too much into trying.
You don't like horny werewolves?
Love him. Trust me.
Big fan.
I think I always thought he he balanced like the kind of badass moments with funny moments or endearing moments so well in all of his books. And this was the first time where I was like, yeah, I just think he's going for the laugh too much. But Balthazar, I don't think that was the case, especially at the
I'm a
ending
big
where he
fan of self-deprecating humor in Balthasar.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's yeah, my bread and butter too. I can relate a lot to self-deprecating humor. So yeah, that's a great pick. I didn't even think of that. I should have thought closely.
When
Damn.
you put this face out on the internet constantly, you get used to getting self-deprecating humor out there before anyone else can do it for you.
It's a
Blows my
shield.
mind.
All right. Oh boy.
All right,
What
so
else? Oh, you got another one. Yeah.
I do non-POV character. See, like I'm looking at my short list for non-POV characters, and like Wirwin really stands out. I'm like, damn, I should have picked him. Why could? Because all these others,
I feel
I
like
feel like
this
it
would be the list of all of ours that are different, is the secondary characters.
could
We're
be.
way
Yeah.
different.
Baez was not on mine, but Wirwin was. Baez
Really?
was close to ending up on mine.
They're my top two.
Um,
Easily, yeah. I don't know.
hmm I'm going Artie West.
Oh, nice.
Going Artie West.
I thought you were going Brother Longfoot.
Sean, can I say thank you for having female representation so we don't get
There
dogged
we
in the
go.
comments?
There we
Four
go.
men. Four
So I said
men.
people trash Joe about that first trilogy, but
I
Artie's
know.
great.
That's true.
She is great.
Yeah.
She's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's great. She's a crucial character in that initial trilogy. Extends into the sequel trilogy. I love a good like commoner that gets intermingled with the nobles because of like who she is as a person, as far as like being intelligent, scrappy, like isn't afraid to say how she feels, and just like endears herself to Jazal and Galacta. I think her ending with Galacta too is very compelling, and like having the bastard of her and Jazal. So that's like a really interesting and compelling end note to that book, which obviously it plays a huge part in the sequel trilogy. And because of that, she herself plays a huge part in the sequel trilogy. And yeah, she's just a good, well-written character.
Damn, that was a good one. I also like her because I think she not this is the only reason she's there, but she makes West more of a complex character.
Thank you. I was going to say that.
I mean, he throughout the book kind of can be misled, like, oh, he's a super good guy, but he kind of does like slap her around.
Yeah.
He like hits his
Yeah.
own sister.
He does that and he chunks Gladys off a cliff. I'm like, this guy's a piece of shit. He actually has a redemption.
Right. Yeah. So I think for that part, I think it's good that you could show the different side of West. But yeah, and just how she interacts with all the different characters, Jazal and Glocka. Yeah, she is.
She takes care of our favorite cripple, God bless her.
God bless her.
And I'm pretty sure she's drunk about 90% of the time. She's a
Yeah.
functioning alcoholic. Those are hard to
I mean,
find.
can you imagine living with Galacta? Like, I'd have to drink a little bit.
Gotta self-medicate at that point. Come on.
Slip some in his food too.
Yeah, right. But I think by the end they had like a nice relationship, right? They like
Mhm.
respected each other. It's been so
Mhm.
long. I gotta reread. All right, I gotta see my picks now.
Oh, I think he loves her. I think she puts up with him.
Sometimes it's like, yeah. Sometimes I just forget how like ugly Glocka is until like I see a fan
Glock is the
drawing.
type that he would poison like a colony of children if it meant getting what he needed. Where she's going to be like, okay, let's not poison the kids. Let's think of an alternative. He's like, ah, damn it, okay. So I think that's what she does for him.
What's plan B and C? Should I do
I'm sorry, I
my?
don't understand the chart. Whose pick is it?
Oh, sorry,
It's
it's my pick.
Yeti's.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm struggling. Yeah, my pick, then Seth, and then back to you, Mike.
Okay.
I just got so I have 2 picks left: non-POV character, and then non-first law wild card. I have no idea who to do for non-POV. That really screwed me. All right, I'll do non-first law wild card, and this is going to be my soapbox to stick up for this series and this book, which we just found out off mic that Mike is not a fan of. But I'm going to pick Half the World by Joe Abercrombie in the Shattered Sea trilogy. And Probably because when I read this, don't look at my review. I don't think I can stand by it, but I said it was my second favorite book that Joe Abercrombie ever wrote. I don't. I do not
Had
want
you
to
only
stand.
read 2 at the time, or?
I don't want to stand by it now, but at the time, that's how I felt about it. I actually thought it was a great move to switch from. I liked Yarvi. I know a lot of people dogged Joe for that first book and Yarvi, and um, I don't know. I think he gets a hard rap for the series in general, but I love the character of Thorn, who's kind of like essentially just a teenage girl who's kind of like a Northman-esque, just brawler fighter, like Logan, super light, and her journey of she kind of get accidentally, no one right accidentally kills someone, and Yarvi takes her under her wing, and they go on a journey together, and they kind of like he's looking for allies, getting a gang together book, and yeah, I just remember immediate reading it. The twists and turns felt like up there. Everything like with anything Abercrombie did in the first Law trilogy or the standalones. Um, the characters, I forget the boy's name in that, but Thorne's relationship with her, moving Yarvi out of a POV into like a Glock-esque and behind the scenes, because he's also crippled in that. I just thought it was like a great choice by Joe. I thought he just read the room, in my opinion, correctly and kind of elevated the book, and only made better in hindsight by the fact that the last book, Half a War, is complete dog turd. No offense, Joe, but it is as good as the last Argument of Kings is. This book 3 was rough.
See, that's what I heard when I didn't like book 2. People were like, "They definitely don't read book 3."
Yeah, it I really didn't care for it, and yeah, but for that this second book, I'll fight for that book with the best of his. Sorry, Mike.
It's all right.
Hey, so wait,
All right, so
Seth,
sorry.
wait, Seth hasn't read it, that series. Have you read that trilogy yet, Sean?
No, and I never will. I don't. I just it's not in the
I know
stars
that
for
when
me. I
I
don't
first
think.
heard about it, I was like, "Really? Lord Grimdark's writing a YA series? Okay, Joe, but hey, get your money."
Yeah, that is what he probably did. He probably saw the money in the YA market. I mean, it's the same type of stuff. It's just I compared it to like Diet Coke or something. It's or light,
What he told me
like
was he didn't set out to write a YA fantasy series. He said that when I said I have a female protagonist, they said, "Oh, it's a YA book." That's exactly what he said.
That's funny.
I'm
That's
quoting
funny.
him.
I mean,
I
the
mean,
characters are younger, so POV
Yeah.
characters, but
I'm sorry, a young female protagonist. It meant, hey,
you're
it
right.
must be YA. Yeah.
You're right. Yeah, that's a good
fair
point.
enough assumption. Maybe I should have it on my TBR officially, but I feel like it'd be 100 books down. So essentially, I'm not getting to
Just
it.
read book 1 and stop, and you'll enjoy
There you go.
it.
Maybe I will, just because, just for some exposure. I didn't misunderstand the category, right? Like Balthazar was kosher there.
Yeah,
It
you
was
can pick
just
a
like
character, a
anything.
book,
Yeah. Okay.
anything that's
Okay.
not first law. Yeah, like I
Okay.
said, blog post. All right, Seth, keep it going.
I'm actually going to go my quote this time. And this is actually from Best Served Cold. I'm cheating on the heroes for the first time tonight.
Finally, my
Uh,
God.
but it quote, you were a hero around these parts. That's what they call you. When you kill so many people, the word murderer falls short.
Oh, yeah.
And that's about Mazca. That's from Sajim to Mazca. Anyway, I just love the idea that Abercrombie plays with a lot about, how fame and infamy are two sides of the same coin, and um, they kind of blur the line between hero and villain, um, which I think not only does Desert Cold do fantastically, but really kind of the First Law universe as a whole, I think, explores that whole idea. So yeah, just love the quote. The diehard Tolkien fans out there are probably raging that I don't love the idea of a hero all the time, but here we are.
I think there's room for both.
Yeah.
I agree, Mike. Sometimes the internet, though, everyone's a
Yeah,
critic, my
you
friend.
can't. How dare you? Don't pick a side. Yeah.
I love that quote because it reminds me of like just how any people view things on the outside, no matter what really happened, and there's different views for whatever. And Mike, have you read You've read Hob, right? I'm not misremembering that,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
I've read the whole
So
Roll the Elements.
yeah, yeah. So
Wow.
so my favorite example of this is like Kenneth, where it's like at the end of that book, that guy, we know who Kenneth is, but the people in that world, he's like a hero. He's like a guy, he's just like, this guy did so much good for this group and this community. But to us and people who like read the book, that's like that. I feel like that quote kind of encapsulates that
You
idea.
bring that up because I said I felt like Kenneth almost felt like a First Law character. He really did.
Mm.
Kenneth was great.
Oh, listen, buddy, you're amongst Hob acolytes here. We
Yes, sir. Yeah.
I think Life Ship's the best in that series. So yeah, I love it.
have we been saying that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kenneth,
Amen.
Kenneth is probably one of the best villains ever put to page, regardless.
I
of
think
game.
he's probably like my second favorite behind Galactic. Yeah, as far as
Yeah.
like just damaged villain. Yeah, I love it.
Mike, I gotta go through your backlog because I don't think I ever caught this Assassin's Fate video, so I gotta watch some videos.
I think that she should have stopped at Tawny Man. That's kind of been my hot take.
Whoa, what a
So
hot take.
That's
that would
fair.
probably be a whole nother show if we get into that right now. So
Yeah. All right. So Sean, these are your last two picks?
Mike's
Or what?
last two
Oh,
picks.
sorry, Mike's last two picks. Yeah.
it's my pick now,
Yeah, back to back.
and I have two. Oh, okay.
Finishing them off.
You got quote and non first law.
Let's go for quote. Now I'm gonna just kind of go for a screwy one. Now I have them ranked here, but I mean I feel like some of the greatest hits, like "Body Found Floating by the Docks" or "Why
Yeah.
Do I Do This?" I use that one on a daily basis. These are some great ones. You have to be realistic about. These are all really great, but
Hmm.
my second or third favorite character in this entire series somehow is Nakomo Casca. I love this character so much. He's just
Yeah.
like the mix of like I said, your crazy drunk uncle that you can't help but love. You're embarrassed of him, but you can't help but love him. So I got to do a quote from him, and one that just literally had me laughing out loud when I read it is when he says, "Have a smile for breakfast. You'll by lunch. You'll joy by lunch." About made me
Right.
die when I read that, and I went back and like highlighted it and read it to my wife, and she's like, "That's funny." I'm like, "I'm laughing." So he's one of those kind of people that like he has like a quote of the day kind of calendar on his desk, and it has ridiculous like this, and he
Yeah.
tries to pass it off as his own. And I just think that that's just what endears me to this character so much. I just the guy that's trying to kick the booze, but he still likes some hooch every now and then. But yeah, like I said, I can't describe him anything better as like your favorite drunk uncle. Your drunkle.
Oscar is so good. Yeah.
He like reminds me of like a comedian like Martin Short or like Don Rickles, where they just always have something ready.
Right.
Usually it's them as
Punch
zingers,
you.
but it's like he just always has like a line ready.
I love where he's trying to throw a knife like the whole thing, and then he finally gets it, and it's like, oh, I meant to do that. So that's the kind of humor I need. Yeah, it's good.
And doesn't Shivers quote that like from Casca at one point?
Yeah,
Does he? Sheesh, I don't
I
remember.
think
pretty
so.
sure.
But
Abercrombie's
people thought
humor
that's
is
why I didn't
kind
like Red Country is because of what he did to Casca in that book, and I was like, no, it's actually kind of realistic for a character like Casca,
Yeah.
but
yeah.
other things about Red Country.
His humor is fantastic. It's so underrated to me. Joe's.
Abercrombie's.
Yeah, it's incredible.
Yeah, these books get described as grimdark or whatever, and then I remember there's a Joe Hill quote where he said it's like twistedly hilarious, it's twisted hilarious or something like that, and I was like, I don't know if that's how to describe it. I'm like, wait, I think I would because it's like I laugh a lot while I read these books for such awful things happening. I laugh
Yeah,
a lot.
there's definitely a lot of like black comedy
Yeah.
elements. It's all throughout.
I say that
Mhm.
all the time where it's like these, I mean, I know whatever grimdark is, like there's so many bleaker books than these.
Oh yeah. Oh well, wait. A lot of books when people say, "Oh, it's grimdark," like Mark Lawrence, I'm like, no, that's nihilism. That isn't grimdark. That's nihilism. Where your protagonist is a rapist. But I don't know. I feel like there's this balancing point between grimdark and everything. That's why you have those videos about what is grimdark. Like nobody
Oh
knows.
boy.
This is grimdark. This is
Yeah.
it.
Whatever I deem
Yeah.
it, that's what it is.
And I got what wild card. Wild card. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Last pick.
Hmm. Okay. We already took Balthazar. That was my number one.
I did something right.
Yeah.
Thank God he didn't get all his picks.
I mean, I kind of want to put the horny werewolf, but not really. Not really. Why don't I just go with the Devils, the book, The Devils, because I feel like
Sure.
Yeah.
I'm starting. I felt like it was divisive. Now I'm starting to feel like I'm on an island that I actually like the book. There was the only thing
Yeah.
I really didn't like about it was a section where he decided to split everybody up for several chapters. That was like the only part I didn't really like. Everything else I kind of really liked about it, but I will agree that maybe it was a little too much humor this time. I think for me, what it felt like is I never really played Dungeons and Dragons, but I felt like if I played Dungeons and Dragons, what would have happened? It would have just went off the rails like
Right.
this. That's what my campaign would have went completely nuts like this, because that's the kind of cast of characters we have. Was just like someone's crazy D&D game, and that's how the campaign would have just went completely nuts if I had actually been running the thing, because I have no idea how to hold people in check and do anything besides play a barbarian and punch people real hard and roll a 1 every single time. So what do I know? But maybe that's why I liked it a little bit more than everybody else. But I will say it doesn't touch any of his first law books. I mean, I
Yeah.
think if you go into it expecting a first law book, you're going to be disappointed. But I don't know.
It is interesting. The podcast we did, we had me and Seth who read all of his books, and then Spook and someone else. I'm blanking, so forgive me, whoever it was.
Chesky,
Huh?
Chesky or
Oh, that's
Sesky.
Chesky. So two people who don't really read Joe Abercrombie, and they loved it. They thought they were psyched to get into more. So
Just
it
wait.
wasn't. Yeah. So it's interesting to see, kind of the divide where it's like new readers, which is probably music to his ears. People who aren't really
Yeah.
familiar with him love that book and want to read more. Whereas stuff like us who are like, it's kind of let down, but I'll still read anything he wants. But so yeah, it's not bad. There was one example I pointed to on the podcast that was like, you remember when there was in the Devils this big scene where what was it, the Devils being raised from underneath or whatever, something like that.
Zombies at
No, it
the
was like the big,
church.
it was like the big demon. It was like the devil. Like, oh my god, this
Oh,
guy
okay.
is coming to
That's
the.
what's on the Broken Binding cover. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and then he just goes away because they kind of play it as a joke, and that was like the moment for me where it's like, oh, so this is what all this book is. There's really not going to be this powerful moment other than maybe the end when one character passes away
Yeah,
that you didn't
sometimes the
expect.
subverting the expectations can go a little too far. Yeah, I can agree with that. That surprised me too. That scene you're talking about, like really? Okay, but
Or maybe I'll look back and like it. Maybe it's like when we read the first law, we're like, I don't know if that was a good choice, but maybe as the years go by, I'm like, actually, I see what this kind of is.
I feel like I really bought into the characters the last 25 pages of the book,
I know.
just in time for him to be like, all right, I'll read the sequel.
Yeah, he's still
Like,
got.
I thought it wrapped up pretty nicely.
Yeah, the ending was the best part. That last 25%. I was like, all right.
I would read a
Yeah.
Balthazar spinoff book,
Oh
honestly.
yeah.
Just give
Oh,
me
yeah.
his adventures.
All right, great. I mean, that's a God, Mike. That is a strong team.
Like
I'll,
that?
be- I'll be honest.
We're
When we
on
invited,
14-3. I'm feeling good about this.
when we invited you on, I was hoping to embarrass you with our knowledge, but no, in our
Home field
taste.
advantage the first round. I got it. First round bye.
So, Seth, was this your last pick now?
Last pick. I think this is non-first law for
Wild
me.
card.
Yeah, wild card. For me, it's Baron Ricard from the Devils.
I thought you go with the knight.
Yeah, it was tempting, especially that last 25%. Problem is the 75% before that, where I didn't care about it at all. No, Baron Ricard is really interesting, and I wish we'd gotten way more of him in the Devils. But particularly at the end, you find out that spoiler for the Devils, everyone. He's not bound by the curse like the rest of the group. And then he has a quote that I think about often. Take from it what you will, but he says, "Quote: The church is not that keen on God, in my experience. I merely find it a shame that the saved are, as a rule, so little like their Savior." So I really think there's a lot more to Baron, and probably that he's with this group from some sense of guilt or morality, or maybe even a conscience, and also aware that he's being judged as a monster, maybe by people he perceives as monsters. Joe likes really a lot, like we talked about earlier, to play with perception and things like that. So I wish we got more of him, but the stuff we did get I thought was really interesting. And I will, who am I kidding? I wasn't that hot on the Devils, but I will definitely read the next one and buy it the first week it's out. So here's to hoping we get more.
He just put out a press release, or is it confirmed that the same characters are going to be in there, or a different priest but the same crew? I can't remember.
think it was like new, like
All new
not
characters.
anthology books, but like in the same world, just like in a different place.
Right.
But I'm pretty sure, like the standalones, where you'll see some characters you recognize eventually, that
Yeah,
kind
I'll
of
read.
thing. I'm
I'll
not
read
positive.
it. No doubt, I'll read it. Yeah, it's a good pick. Sorry, when you were talking, I could. What's the knight's name in that book?
Jonas, right? Or
Not Jonas. Yeah. All I could think about was that scene of him coming up the stairs. That was
there's
like pure Abercrombie. I was like, this is
that's classic. Yeah.
it's like we got the old dog still got it. All right, great pick. You guys probably picked the two best characters in that book. That's fair. All right, so I have non POV character left. Um,
A lot of
I'm
good
gonna.
options.
Is there? I guess. I don't. I'm gonna try to cheat first, so you guys can veto it if you all say this isn't true. Uh, do you know where I'm going with this or no? As a non POV. All right. What if I chose Lamb as my non POV character?
Oh no, I was gonna make the same. I forgot to make that joke. I was gonna make the
That's like when
joke.
people pick Galaxy Quest as their favorite Star Trek.
Oh,
Like, stop it.
okay. I knew I wasn't getting through that one. Damn, my team could have used that boost, but that's fine. Um, I guess I'll
Hard
go.
veto.
Yeah, I'll go with Old Faithful. I think a solid character. I'll go with Rud Three Trees. I think he was a
Nice.
good anchor in that.
I'm on board.
Yeah, a good anchor in that first trilogy. You feel for what happens to him when it happens. You're like, oh man, this is like with other characters' emotions. It's been built up that like yeah, this is like a grandfather leader to these guys. That kept them together, kept these personalities together, and kind of what idea of a good man is. He was like the beacon for all these guys, Logan especially.
Dude, going through that trilogy and just like crossing each one of those guys off the list that you start with, it sucked, you know?
Yeah, like, oh god damn. Yeah. And of course Logan's around. Yeah. So listen, I would have loved to get Warren, and then obviously Baez, I think, is just one of the best non-POV characters ever, but I'm happy with this. He's not leading my team as good a leader he is, but I like characters that have an emotional core to it, and he centered it for me.
Oh, that makes sense. I was surprised you didn't go Casca here, Nicomo Casca, but if you
Yeah.
need the
Well,
emotional
according
depth, that makes sense.
Where's he?
Wow.
Does he have POV? Wait.
He is in
No,
best
I don't think
control.
he's.
Yeah,
Is he a POV?
Yeah, he does. Yeah, he was my
Yeah.
POV list. My POV short
Oh,
list. Yeah.
that's
I
what
had
I
that
mean.
wrong. And
That made up rule I had screwed us. There's too many options on POV and not as much. But yeah, Costco. I mean, I would have happily, and also another one I would have been Gorst, but I forgot he was amazing and
POV.
What about
yeah,
Chroma
and
Key
heroes.
Fail? Chroma
Thought
Key
about it.
Fail.
I
I
thought
had
about the indigenous people.
I had Eastern, and
Is what he
Yeah.
fell?
pretty high up for me. And Finry.
And the practicals, Severard and Frost are pretty high on my list too,
Oh
but I have to
yeah.
count them as one because they're a duo.
Well, I also thought, correct me if I'm wrong. I guess I could have picked him, but I'm fine with Rudd. But Black Dow was never a POV, right?
yeah, he's not a POV.
Correct. I did
He's high on my list. Yeah.
Yeah.
I did a lot of. I had to like triple check that today.
I know. I was like, he couldn't.
If he
even
had
in the
more
short sprint.
dialogue, I probably would have put him higher, but he doesn't really have, except like f***ing witch or something. he really just got the quick little one-liners.
I had him written down, and then Jonas Clover. I don't think we had a Jonas Clover POV.
I love. Yeah,
He's not bad.
He's cool. I had
That was lower down.
Yulway. A lot of people never talk about Yulway, whose
Yeah.
my favorite lines of his are just,
Hey,
for God's sakes, peace, Pharaoh.
Clover was a POV, right, in the second trilogy?
Oh, yeah.
No idea.
Think so?
I guess
Yeah.
maybe he is. It's
Because
actually kind of wild how little we've talked about the sequel trilogy tonight.
I'm telling you, I got
Because
thrown
yeah,
off
like
by
the
Mike.
person.
Mike said it was
Sean's
fine.
got the last pick. He can redeem this whole
Oh,
thing.
yeah, sorry.
I don't think I'm gonna. It's
Oh, I'm sorry. I
between.
thought we were done. Shoot. My fault.
No,
I
one
know,
last pick.
giving away
Mr.
picks.
Irrelevant right here. Um,
Brock Purdy.
I'm
Who's the Brock
between.
Purdy of the first law? Let's see.
I'm between a little hatred and the selection
you
I think
thought.
I will actually make, which is Before They're Hanged.
Good pick. That's my number 2.
Oh, good pick for sure.
I should have went with that. I was thinking that too. Why'd you pick it? Go ahead. Lay it on us.
I mean, great Galactic book.
Yeah.
That kind of is enough reason right there. strong Galactic book, both in like page count and development, and just goodness. The quest aspect, I'm fine with. That group was fun to follow as well. It's just you're right in the middle of First Law. Everything's in motion. All the characters are very much in flux and developing. It's unless you hate the quest so much you deem the rest of the book irredeemable. This is just pure unadulterated First Law right here. Other than the last argument,
This
other than the last argument, it's the best in the trilogy, which it's only 3 books, but you know what I'm saying.
this book has one of my favorite like just Abercrombie passages, and it's where Jazal is like looking in the mirror talking about his chin,
Yes.
like, thinking about how
Oh
perfect
my
his
God.
chin is.
I have it on my quotes. I have it on my
It's so
quotes.
good.
Where is it? Ugly people always seem to think they were clever. Why was that?
So good. Yeah.
And yeah,
The
you
lead
get him
pick.
getting hit by the mace in this book, which is,
Yeah,
starts
he
his whole thing.
collapsed. That's the beginning of really of his
Yeah.
redemption arc. Yeah.
And even just the end of the book, I mean, the end of the quest is like you really get your first taste of Abercrombie, where it's like, oh, this was
All for
not how
nothing.
these things kind of go. Yeah, So
Yeah, I wanted to throw my book across the room, and then I remembered I had Last Argument of Kings already on the shelf, so I just immediately
Simple as that.
started the next one.
That's
Yeah.
the best one. Yeah.
Well, we did it,
All right.
guys. We successfully
Look at that.
drafted. Do you want to, real quick, we'll read off our teams for the people who like listening at home so they can hear.
Okay. So I was 4th pick. Book in a series, Before They Are Hanged. POV character, Logan. Quote passage, it's better to do it than live with the fear of it.
Bangers.
Secondary character, Artie West. Non-First Law wildcard, Balthazar.
That's a great team.
Thank you.
So
It came out okay.
Seth, you want to read yours?
Yeah, so book for me was The Heroes. POV character, Carl Shivers. Non-POV, Warren Ableh. Non-First Law, Baron Ricard. And then my quote was, "You were a hero around these parts. That's what happens when you kill so many people that the word murderer falls short."
Also
Nice.
very true.
Mike, do you have yours up?
I do. I
All
do.
right.
So, book, Last Argument of Kings, which
Oh,
is
boy.
the correct
Yeah.
answer.
Yep.
POV character, my favorite, pretty much in all of fantasy, not from Song of Ice and Fire, Sandan Glocta, although I think he'd do very well in that world. Quote from one of my favorite characters, Kombokaska: "Have a smile for breakfast, you'll be joy by lunch," because Joe is just an architect of the human language. And then you got secondary character, non-POV, Bias, First of Magi, and he's quite good. And then of course we got the devils for my non-First Law. So I feel
It's a
pretty
pretty
good.
elite list.
Banger.
It's an elite
Good
list.
Lord.
Look at that.
I feel like we could go to war.
All right,
You
only
are.
to be rivaled by my list. Let's see. First, best book, I got Best Served Cold, which I'm fairly happy about that. POV character Orso, representing the second trilogy. Someone has to. Quote or passage, savor the little moments, son. That's my advice. That's what life is. All the little moments while you're waiting for something else. If Sean put that in correctly, I'm not totally sure.
Sounds right.
Secondary character, non-POV, Rud 3 Trees, and the poop cherry on top that'll lose me this draft if I
You
even
need
have a
someone to
chance.
ride the pine. Come on.
Non-First Law wild card, half the world. The only person sticking up for that book. There it
He's only
is.
playing for injury. Yeah.
All right, we did it. Mike, we really want to thank you for coming on and like doing this with
course.
us. We're all big
I love
fans.
talking First Law, so thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Do you want to plug your channel for people that haven't listened or seen you? Just
Sure, if you're really, really
yeah.
bored and you want to hear my weird book opinions, you can find me Mike's Book Reviews on YouTube, about to hit 150,000 subs. But I also do short content on Facebook because I'm old. TikTok just really wasn't working for me. Every time I go into TikTok, I turn into my parents because everything is just too loud and bombastic and crazy. And I don't sing, I don't dance, I don't do weird skits and stuff like that. So I probably wasn't the target demographic there. But I also do Instagram. But Instagram, I will talk about books, movies, music a lot, and things like that. And if you like sports, I do Twitter as well. Zep1978 on Twitter. But yeah, that is more sports than anything. The people who want to follow me for books get mad. Talk about sports. People who want to follow me for sports get mad. I'll talk about when I talk about books. So I make no one happy, which is pretty much what Twitter is. No one's happy.
You
So
know?
I would love to see you there.
Yeah, and your with your books, I know I like all your King stuff. Even though I think one time you said they don't do as good numbers and it depresses you or something.
Well, I mean, your favorite author ever, and
Yeah,
yeah, that's kind of a passion project because I'll have some that do great.
yeah,
Some won't do nothing for like 3 years, and then all of a sudden out of nowhere they blow up. So it's kind of weird. I think the craziest one was when I talked about The Stand. It was not planned to do this because I was going to talk about it on publication order, and that was
yeah.
right when lockdown happened. So that was kind of like perfect timing
Wow,
was The
look at
Stand. But yeah, it's hit or miss with the King stuff.
that. All right. Well, thanks for Sean, Seth, and I. Come join the Discord for the Legendarium GT. I'm Yeti. See you guys later.
Peace.